I'm sick of the lies. The lies. The lies the mainstream sports media tells you, Bron fanboys, to make you believe LeBron James is the GOAT. He not the GOAT, dog. He not the GOAT. All right? That's the facts. And you already know the deal. The real NBA fans, oh yeah, we all know that LeBron James is not the GOAT. But here come the Bron fanboys. Yep. Here they come. They're here again, dog. They're here again. And what do they got to say now? You see, dog, we got a problem, dog. We have a brand new problem. You see? We already know, dog. The real NBA fans, we already know LeBron James is not the GOAT. He not the GOAT. All right? He not. All right? He not even top 10, dog. If we're being real, and I've done plenty of videos to prove it. But right now, who do we have? A star on the rise. You know? He's already a champion. He's a 3-time MVP already. Yeah. And he's putting up eye-popping, mind-blowing stats, statistical performances. He's getting points. He's getting rebounds. He's getting assists. He's getting efficiency. You know, he's shooting threes. He's hitting his free throws. You see what I'm saying? And he's doing most of this in a heliocentric type offense where the team plays through him, you know? And he's the primary playmaker, the primary scorer, he's the primary rebounder, you know, things of that nature, right? And if you don't know who I'm talking about by now, dog, it's Nikola Jokić. Yeah, Nikola Jokić, yeah. Great player. He's a great player, all right? Great player, dog. Nikola Jokić, dog. Like, everybody's talking about him, dog. Everybody's talking about him because it just seems like he's getting better year after year. It's like every year he gets better. He was doing some crazy stuff the year before. And I mean, just last year, he averaged a triple-double, dog. He averaged a triple-double, becoming one of only 3 players in NBA history to average a triple-double in a season, dog. The first one was Oscar Robertson, all right? The second one was Russell Westbrook, who did it 4 times. God dang. And then there's Nikola Jokić, you know. He's the third, and he's the only center, you know, at this point, from what we know of, you know, since they tracked all 5 of the statistical categories, steals and blocks, because before it was just, you know, points, rebounds, assists, right? So as far as we know it, he's the only center to average a triple-double for a season, dog. And that's all fine and dandy, you know, but we have an issue, dog. We have a problem, you know. I feel like the way the game is today, the modern game and the modern NBA and then all these announcers and broadcasters, everyone just raving about Jokić. Then we even got some people like Scap Attack, dog, you know. He's out here saying, why does everyone hate Jokić? He's so great. Look at the stats. Look at this. Look at that. But, dog, there's a problem with Nikola Jokić, dog. All right? And it's the same problem that happened with LeBron when he came to the league. Same problem, same issue, dog. All right? Now, it's a little bit flipped around because we got to think about it, right? LeBron James, he came to the league, number 1 draft pick out of high school, whatever, right? This guy, athletic freak. Didn't really have the fundamentals, though. No, not really polished in the fundamentals. He didn't really have that, you know. He didn't really have a game, like an overall game, but he was an athletic freak, all right? Now, Jokić, he is not an athletic freak. He is not an athletic freak. As a matter of fact, his athleticism, I mean, we already know he's slow. He's not super agile. Like he has footwork and stuff. He has fundamental ability. He has balance and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? But freak athlete, no, that's not him, right? He's not an athletic freak. But his fundamentals are there, all right? His fundamentals are on point, right? Okay? So that's the difference between the two. When LeBron came in, athletic freak, didn't really have fundamentals. Jokić came in, not an athletic freak, but had the fundamentals, right? And when you have a player who has the fundamentals and you start playing through him and letting him run the offense, he's going to put up some crazy type of numbers, all right? And that is what Jokić has been doing, dog. He's been putting up these crazy numbers. He's been crazy efficient. He's just been a stat sheet stuffer, right? Filling up everything in the box score, And it's looking pretty, dog. It is looking pretty, okay? LeBron wasn't really doing that, all right? He ain't doing no Jokić type stuff, dog. LeBron ain't never averaged no triple-double for no season, dog, all right? And as much as everyone's talking about, LeBron needs the king of stats. No. We have a new sheriff in town, LeBron, all right? While you're out there sitting on the bench or running off to the G League, here's Jokić putting up all kinds of numbers you never could get in your life, LeBron, all right? And he's not an athletic freak like you are or once was, okay? But he has all these fundamentals, all these skills that you don't have, LeBron. And that's why he can put up better numbers than you ever could, even though he's not as gifted athletically, okay? Because he's just a better player, dog. Jokić is better than LeBron, all right? He's putting up better numbers, better stats, better efficiency, okay? He's proving that even though he's not an athletic freak, look at all the skills, look at the fundamentals, and it's pretty to watch. It's pretty to watch. Now, some people, they say, he's boring. His game is boring. But if you're a real NBA fan, you are very impressed by Jokic's play on the court from an offensive standpoint. Yes, you are. An individual offensive standpoint. You like how he shares the ball. You like how he runs the offense. You like his basketball IQ, blah, 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 blah. You see what I'm saying? Basically, all the things everyone wants to compliment LeBron on, and they've been doing for years, especially all these Bron fanboys. His passing. His passing. Well, guess what? Jokić. Everyone's going, his passing. He's scoring. Look at LeBron, he's scoring. Well, look at Jokić. He's scoring. His basketball IQ is so high. He's the smartest basketball savant. Well, guess what? Jokić has a high basketball IQ, and he is a basketball savant. Much more than LeBron could ever be, dog. All right? These are the facts, okay? But here's the problem, dog. As much as Jokić is better than LeBron, all right? He's not the GOAT, dog. Jokić is not the GOAT, all right? He not the GOAT, dog. He not the GOAT. But here's the problem, dog. Here's the issue. Isn't this, everyone raving about Jokić, isn't this the same thing they were doing with LeBron, dog? When LeBron came in and LeBron started putting up these numbers, he wasn't putting up numbers like Jokić, but he was putting up some numbers that people didn't really see that often, the 27, 7, and 7, yeah, and, he's running the offense. They're playing through him, and he's getting rebounds, assists, and points, and, things of that nature. Yeah. Didn't they give him some MVPs pretty early on in his career, And weren't most of them kind of based on the stats a little bit? Weren't they based on the stats a little bit, dog? I mean, yeah, team success, he was winning, early on in Cleveland. Well, his first stint. He was winning, the 09, 66 games, 10, 61 games. You know, he was 60-win teams. And his third MVP, 2012, well, that wasn't a 60-win team. You know, that was a shortened lockout season, you know, but they gave him the MVP, and I guess they didn't really know who they could give the MVP, so they just gave it to him, you know, because they were looking at stats, dog. They were like, yeah, well, LeBron's putting up all kinds of numbers, though, you know. Yeah, there's some other teams that are better, and they're winning more, and they have more success, but LeBron, look at his numbers, you know. I think at some point, dog, it got to a point where MVP is nothing more than a bet on who is most likely to win a championship. That's what MVP means today now. And that's why your boy Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA, he can win the MVP, all right? And guess what? His team ends up going on to have the best record in the NBA and to win the championship that same year. I mean, come on. They finally got it right. This is the first time in 10 years, dog. 10 years. We haven't seen this since the 2015 season, dog, with Steph Curry, where MVP won the championship the same season they were voted MVP. All right? They finally got it right. All right? I think the writers and the media and all the people involved in the voting for MVP, they're tired of voting for Nikola Jokić to be MVP because he ain't proven that he's MVP. If you're going to turn around and get eliminated in the first round, second round, and stuff like that, you know, and not really make it that far, dog. All right? Now, yeah, he does have a championship under his belt. He does. All right? He's what, 7 seasons in, I believe? I think it's 7 seasons. Oh, wait, no. My bad. Not 7 seasons. It's freaking 11. He's on his 11th season now, all right? 7, he's been to the playoffs. He's had 7 postseasons, but 11 seasons total, dog, okay? Now, thing about Jokić, dog, the thing why I feel like they're not going to keep giving him MVPs, because this dude is a freaking loser, dog. Let's just be real, dog. Let's be real. He's a freaking loser, just like how LeBron was when he first came in the league, dog. All right? LeBron, in his first 7, well, not 7, but his first 7 seasons total, all right? Because he missed the playoffs his first 2 seasons, all right? So his first 5 seasons in the league, dog. But even if we include the postseason, right? His first 7 postseasons, dog. LeBron James, he won 1 championship, okay? First 7 postseasons, 1 championship. Same as Michael Jordan, eh? But by the time Michael Jordan won his first championship, we already knew what happened from there, dog. All right? Jokić, he has 1 championship in his first 7 postseasons, okay? But he already has 3 MVPs. You see what I'm saying? Already has 3. All right? He only has 1 chip, dog. Okay? The 1 chip he won, it was easy sauce, dog. It was easy. All right? It was easy. Let's be real. We can look at the playoff path, dog. We can look at the teams he went against, dog. We can look at the team he went up against in the finals, dog. All right? Did he beat one 50-win team for that entire playoff run? Just one. Did he beat a 50-win team to win his title? No. No, dog. He beat 0 50-win teams to win his ring, dog. That's the facts, all right? Now, we already know LeBron in comparison, dog. LeBron, he went to the finals his first 7 seasons, dog. In 07, yeah, he did. 2007. And they said, oh, he didn't have a team. He was carrying bums and scrubs. Well, they're also saying the same thing about Jokić. Oh, he didn't have a team. He's carrying bums and scrubs. He's got no all-stars. Da-da-da-da-da. Same thing. All right? Now, Jokić, he goes to the finals. He wins. You see what I'm saying? He wins his chip. You see what I'm saying? Another reason he's better than LeBron. He can win, if he's really set up to win, without having ridiculous amounts of help on his side. You see what I'm saying? Now, LeBron, he needs weak competition and ridiculous help on his side to even think about winning, dog. That's what he needs. Jokić doesn't need that. He doesn't need ridiculous help. He just needs weak competition. That's what he needs. And if you don't believe me, dog, we can look at all the 7 postseasons, dog. All 7 of them. All right? And we can say, how many 50-win teams did Nikola Jokić win? All right? How many? 7 postseasons, dog. 7 postseasons. That's 7 playoffs. All right? 7 times he's gone to the playoffs, dog. How many times has he beat a 50-win team, dog? Just once. Just once, dog. 50 on the dot. All right? 50 on the nose. He's only beaten one 50-win team in 7 postseasons, dog. All right? That's it. I'm being for real, dog. Everyone wants to give Jokić all this credit. It was, oh, but look at all these stats. Look at the stats, though. Look at the stats. It's the same thing y'all were doing with LeBron back in the day, dog. Let's not fall into this trap again, dog. Let's not get tricked again, all right? A lot of us fans, we were watching LeBron, and we were like, wow, And we were giving him the benefit of the doubt, even though he was losing when he shouldn't have been losing, all right? That's what we were doing. You see what I'm saying? We were looking at his teams, and his teams, they weren't really winning a lot. And even when they were winning a lot, they weren't even making the finals or nothing. They could have the best record in the NBA. You see, but that's how bad LeBron feels. Now, Jokić, he ain't got that kind of status of best record in the NBA yet. He hasn't even reached that. He hasn't won a single 60-game season, all right? Ain't no 60 wins for him and his team, okay? But he hasn't had the kind of help that LeBron has had, all right, as well, okay? Not on the defensive end, not on the offensive end, okay? These are the facts. So it does make sense that he hasn't won 60 games yet, but still, all right? Everyone's eyeing Jokić. They're looking at these numbers. They're looking at his stats, and they're trying to use that to determine his greatness. All right? And yes, he is a great player. Okay? He is. He's better than LeBron for sure. And he can build a career over time that surpasses LeBron, which is pretty easy to do. All right? I think when it's all said and done, people are going to start putting Curry ahead of LeBron. All right? I think when it's all said and done with Jokić, they're going to start putting Jokić ahead of LeBron as long as his career continues to go with him healthy and things of that nature. All right? He fulfills his career, finishes it out on top. By the end of it, he should be ahead of LeBron. All right? Maybe not in championships. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not. Unless something happens, some kind of change where he gets a better team. Because I don't think Jokić, the way he's playing now, is enough to win no championship, dog. I don't think it's enough. All right? Oh, he averaged a triple-double last season. Dog. That doesn't matter. All right? I don't care about you averaging a triple-double. And neither does NBA history, dog. Oscar Robertson. Didn't he average a triple-double? Wasn't he the first player to ever do it? Yeah, he was. How many... Did he win a ring? Did he go on to win a ring that season? No. He didn't. Did he at least make the finals that season? No, he didn't. No, well, at least he made it to the conference final, didn't he? No, he didn't. Oh, okay. He made it to the semifinals? No. Well, technically, yeah. Technically, he did. All right? Because his team was good enough. Back then, they only had like a semifinal, a conference final, and a final. All right? So they only had 3 rounds of playoffs. So Technically, he did go to the semifinals, but that was the first playoff series, since he came into the playoffs. That was his first one, and he was eliminated. Okay? Let's look at Russell Westbrook. All right? He averaged a triple-double in a season 4 different times, dog. 1, 2, 3, 4 were all first-round exits, dog. All of them first-round exits. He didn't win no championship. All right? Now, Nikola, he did make it to the second round. He did. He made it to the second round. The only player to average a triple-double in the regular season and advance to the second round in the playoffs. The only one. All right? So that shows you the kind of caliber. All right? He's a little bit better than these guys. Okay? From a skill point level. You look at the skills. You look at the fundamentals. He's pretty good. All right? He's pretty good. And he did advance to the second round, where he was eliminated, dog. All right? No player ever who's averaged a triple-double for a season has ever won a championship that same season, dog. None. Okay? 0. Zilch. Nada. Dog. All right? We want to look at all this efficiency. We want to look at these stats. And 50, 40, 90, and blah, blah, blah. Dog. All right? Let's talk about 50, 40, 90. How many 50, 40, 90 players, they got a 50, 40, 90 season, and they went on to win a championship that same season, dog? How many? How many did it? 0, dog. You see what I'm saying? 0. No players ever have won a championship the same season they had a 50, 40, 90 season. Just like no players have ever won a championship the same season they averaged a triple-double. All right? Now, the 2 players who even made the finals, because there's only been 2 players to actually make the finals off of a 50, 40, 90 season. That's Larry Bird, 1987, and Steph Curry, 2016. All right? Those are the only 2 players, all right, to even make the finals off of a 50, 40, 90 season. Okay? That's it. All right? They made it to the finals, but they both lost, dog. All right? So all this efficiency stuff you try to praise, and we want to praise all this efficiency, it ain't winning no rings, dog. All right? You want to praise all these triple-doubles and stuff? It ain't winning no rings. It ain't even getting you to a conference final. It still hasn't happened to this day, dog. All right? We can look at these accomplishments, and yeah, they're fun to look at and to say, look at the number. Oh, what a performance. But when it comes to championships, this stuff ain't working, dog. Just like it wasn't working for LeBron. The only reason LeBron even has his rings, we already know what he had to do. We already know who he had to team up with. We know how he had to team hop and get the best talent around him to make a crap system like that actually work towards winning. All right? Now, Jokić, he didn't have to do all that. He didn't have to grab everybody and their mama and put them on the same team. He didn't have to do that. He played with what he had, which is much more respectable. But that style of play, it's only going to work against weak, subpar teams, dog. That's the only way it's going to work, dog. It's not going to work once you start going up against these top dogs, dog. Once you start going against top dogs, the real teams, at the highest level, that stuff is not going to work, dog. All right? And that's the way Jokić is playing, dog. They're running everything through him, and he's doing a great job at it. Much better than LeBron could ever dream or hope of. That's true. But he hasn't beaten multiple 50-win teams in the playoffs throughout his whole career, dog. In the postseason, he's been to the playoffs 7 times. He's only beaten one 50-win team, dog. Just one. All right? And that was 50 on the nose. He has yet to beat a single team in the playoffs, dog, that has more than 50 wins. All right? He has yet to beat a single team in the playoffs that has more than 50 wins. So if he was facing a 51-win team, he's not beating that team. All right? That's 51 wins. You see what I'm saying? He has not beaten a single team that had more than 50 wins, dog. Not one. The only 50-win team he ever beat, all right? It's just one time. It's 50 on the nose, dog. Why can't he beat just any team that has more than 50 wins? He still hasn't done it. Why is it such a struggle to beat these kinds of teams, dog? Why? All right? That's what I want to know. If he's so great, he's putting up all these numbers, and all this stuff really means something for him as an individual player. But what kind of impact is it having on his team where they can't even beat a team that has more than 50 wins? He's only beaten one 50-win team his entire postseason career. He's had 7 postseasons, only beat one freaking 50-win team. And we're supposed to be praising this dude. And we're supposed to be looking, why doesn't he get another MVP? You know what I'm saying? Most wins he's ever gotten is 57. All right? That's it. Well, maybe 58. They might have gotten 58, but I don't think they did. I think it's 57 is the highest win total he's ever had, dog. You see what I'm saying? Like, we can keep looking at this guy and marveling at what he's doing, and it is great to watch and all that stuff, but is it winning basketball, dog? That's the question. All right? We all love to see one guy doing everything and being good at doing everything. Yeah, we like it. We like to watch it. It's entertaining. But is it winning basketball, dog? Is that really going to get you a chip at the end of the day? No, it is not. All right? And the only way possible that we could ever say that style of play is winning you a chip is if they're also bringing it on the defensive end, which Jokić is not doing, dog. He's not doing it, all right? And you might want to talk, but it's steals. And no. I'm talking about actual defense, getting stops on a consistent basis, all right? Whether it's within your matchup or just team defense in general, rim protection, anything like that. He's not really doing that, dog, all right? These are the facts. Same as LeBron. Remember LeBron? He wasn't really playing no defense, dog, all right? But when his team was so good at defense, he was able to hide, he was able to, be in the right place at the right time. And, he was always running behind people and blocking it, he was always doing that. But if we're talking about real man-to-man, in your face, on ball, help defense, team, he's not really good at any of that, dog. All right? These are the facts, okay? The problem is they're teaching us to look at stats of these players. And we look at all these stats and these numbers and we start thinking, they're so good. They're so good of a player. And we start thinking they deserve awards and recognition and accolades. You know what I'm saying? But they're not actually helping their team, dog. They're not helping their team be successful. All right? And you might think, well, no. Look. Jokić, didn't he win 57 games? Yeah, he won 57 games, didn't he? Well, just the other season. Won 57. And he got eliminated in the second round, dog, to a team with, less wins than him? Maybe? You see what I'm saying? He's losing. He's losing it. He's lost a couple times to teams that had worse records than him, dog. All right? These are the facts, dog. We can keep praising all this regular season stuff, dog, because that's all it is. All these stats adding up, they're just regular season stuff, dog. When it comes to the postseason, when it's time to show and prove, Jokić ain't showing and proving, dog. He really ain't helping his team all that much, dog. All right? They might get some wins here and there against subpar teams that don't even have 50 wins. Oh, yeah, he can beat on them all day. All right? Just like LeBron. LeBron can beat on teams that have less than 50 wins all day. Just about, except for this past season where he got eliminated in the first round by a 49-win team. Yeah. Other than that, pretty much his whole career, dog. He has never lost to a team that had less than 50 wins. All right? But now that streak is over. That streak is ended. Even more proof that LeBron is done, dog. All right? LeBron had no issues, dog, going against a team that had less than 50 wins. He was always beating them, okay? Always. Same with Jokić. You go against a team with less than 50 wins, you should be able to beat that kind of team. And Jokić hasn't really had a problem with that. But when we start looking at teams that got 50 wins or more, now we're starting to have issues, dog. He's only beaten one team, one 50-win team in 7 postseasons, dog. All right? And I think people are looking at that. I think people are waking up. And I think people don't want to make the same mistake they made with LeBron, dog. All right? The only way Jokić is going to start winning, all right, and actually proving out there he's got to step it up defensively, dog. All right? The problem is they use him so much on offense, they don't even want him to play defense. They don't want him to risk getting fouled. And then they have to sit him down, and once they sit him down, they're screwed. But that's not the way you're supposed to be playing, dog. You're not supposed to be playing all through one guy, and then you sit the one guy down, and now you're screwed. You see what I'm saying? It's not how it's supposed to go. All right? They're trying to play Michael Jordan like that. Doug Collins was trying to play Michael like that. And we'll just use Michael to do everything because he's just so great. Such a great player. And they fired him, dog. They fired him. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They still fired him. They said, no, Doug, we don't like that. Give the ball to Michael, get out the way. Oh, no. That's bad coaching. We're trying to win championships. We're not just trying to put on the Michael show. We want to win championships. And to win championships, we got to play some real team ball. You see what I'm saying? Phil, you come in. You run this triangle offense, because Doug Collins, he didn't want to run it, dog. He didn't want to run it. And so Jerry Krause was like, you're out of here, dog. Like, nah. You don't want to run the triangle? We're trying to actually win here. You see what I'm saying? You don't want to do that. That's what you're telling us. So you're gone. All right? Phil Jackson, you're going to run this triangle, aren't you? Okay. All right? Then you're in. You see what I'm saying? Michael, you're going to sacrifice some of these stats, dog. You see what I'm saying? He was just coming off of a 32-8-8 season, dog. 32-8-8. All right? Has LeBron ever had a 32-8-8 season? Don't think so, dog. You see what I'm saying? 32-8-8. Went to the Eastern Conference Finals. And they said, nah, you ain't going to be doing no 32-8-8. That's crazy. How about somebody else get some assists? How about somebody else get some rebounds? You're the shooting guard, and you don't need to be doing all that, dog. You don't need to be doing all. You're taking too much to yourself, and you're not giving enough to your teammates. We got to play some real team ball here, okay? And that's what happened, dog. They started playing within the triangle, and everything worked out, all right? You got to have a real team, dog. You got to have your teammates being involved and everyone playing their role, and fitting into their role, all right? If you aren't doing that and you're making the role is everyone just wait on Jokić to do something for you, then we got a problem, dog, all right? Because in the moments when it comes to the postseason, when things get a little more physical, all right, and moments get bigger, lights get brighter, we're starting to have trouble from our role players, our regular guys. All right, we're starting to have trouble, because they're not stepping up when you need them most, because they're so used to Jokic taking over. But once it starts getting more physical and things of that nature, and Jokic starts getting more tired, all right, and we also know he can't do nothing on defense, all right. We don't want him in foul trouble. We don't want to risk it, all right. So other guys are going to have to step up. You see what I'm saying? On defense. And then other guys are going to have to step up on offense when everyone starts gearing onto Jokic, dog. You see what I'm saying? Once they all start doing that, now these role players have a bigger role, a role they were not prepared to have, dog. Because the whole regular season, Jokic was just out there collecting his stats, dog. He was averaging triple doubles. He was getting all the rebounds, all the assists, all the points. All right, that's what he was doing. It was all on Jokic to do that. And yeah, he did it well. He did it efficiently. We trusted him. And he did a great, phenomenal job at it. All right? But now we get to the postseason, and everyone starts changing their game plan, and there's more physicality. And now they start doing stuff on Jokic that they weren't doing in the regular season. You see what I'm saying? And now Jokic is having a harder time playing the way he was used to playing, the way he was accustomed in the regular season. Okay? And once that starts happening, all these other guys got to step up. But they were not allowed to step up because they never had to in the regular season. They never had to. So now it's their time where they got to step up, and they're underperforming. They're bricking shots. And then all the people, they start looking at guys like Jamal Murray, guys like Michael Porter Jr., they had to get rid of him because they're like, no, he sucks. He's trash, because he wasn't hitting his shots when it came to the postseason. Well, he was getting more shots than he was used to getting, all right? And then there's more pressure on him to hit these shots because they really needed him, all right? And so they say, Jokic, it's his teammates, they suck. But Jokic needs to help his teammates get better. He's got to help them improve, And he's not really doing that, all right? I don't think he even cares enough to really help these guys improve, all right? He doesn't even care enough to do anything on defense, dog. I mean, he puts some sort of effort on defense, but it's not enough. We already know that. Jokic, he's not a hustler, dog. He's not out there hustling, dog. You see how he grabs the rebounds, dog. He ain't really clearing out and cleaning glass, dog. He ain't really doing that. He lazy tap to himself. He just barely jumps off the ground, but he just uses his length and his height, Like I just saw the past game, dog. He grabbed the rebound, all easy, all lighthearted with it, dog. It was weak. And this dude just ripped him as soon as he grabbed the rebound, just snatched it from him. Because he really didn't clear out. He really didn't box out. He just thought, it's a free rebound for me. It's like, no, it's not, And they're going to be playing like that in the postseason. Hard, all right? And when they start playing hard, Jokic starts having trouble, dog. This is the reality, dog, all right? Jokic starts having trouble when the physicality turns up, all right? Because the whole season, he hasn't been playing like that. He hasn't been playing hard, all right? He's not used to hustling and really fighting to win, all right? He's not used to that. So when the postseason comes, and now we got to fight for these 50-50 balls and things of that nature, and we got to fight for these rebounds, and we get, he's used to getting all these calls. They're not going to be calling them like they were doing in the regular season anymore. So then he's going to be like, that's normally a foul. It's normally foul. I don't know why. I don't know why they didn't call foul. So I don't understand why. It's normally they call foul. So I think referee we try to we talk to ref and see why not the foul. It doesn't make sense. It's like, no, it does make sense, dog. This is a postseason now, dog. You see what I'm saying? This is the issue we're having, dog. All these people raving about Jokic. We even got Scap over there saying, why isn't Jokic getting MVP every single year? He should have had 5 consecutive. Dog, this dude's a loser, dog. He's a loser, okay? He has 1 championship, yet he's still a loser, dog. Because his championship was weak, dog. He beat 0 50-win teams to win that championship, dog. All right? His team was only 53 wins. Just 53, dog. Okay? It's not that great. That's trash. All right? LeBron beat a 53-win team to get to the finals in 2007. All right? The only 50-win team he beat during his whole first stint with Cleveland. Okay? 53 wins really ain't all that great. Okay? But you had to go against 0 50-win teams. All right? And that's how you won your first ring. But you were in the West, dog. It's not going to be like that. You're not going to get lucky like that again, dog. It's going to be rare you get a lucky path like that, dog. Rare. And he's been seeing that. He's been feeling that year after year, dog. These other teams that are stronger, and they're just taking them out, all right? We can rave about these triple-doubles, but nobody who ever averaged a triple-double has even made it out of the second round, all right? This is the reality, dog, all right? I don't want to look at Jokic like he's the GOAT. People are already trying to call him the GOAT because of stats alone. Stats, and he's got some MVP trophies. You know what I'm saying? But he only has 1 chip, dog. And there's a reason he only has 1 chip, dog. All right? It's the style of play. Even though he's highly effective at it and the most effective we've ever seen at that style of play, still, you could have one of the most capable players doing it. It's still not winning basketball, dog. All right? The only way it ever won was going against subpar competition and or having the best players in the league on your team, which is what LeBron did. All right? He had subpar competition in the East, and he had the best players he could find, all right, on his team. That's how he was able to win multiple rings, all right? Then we go over to the Western Conference. He got lucky with some subpar competition, all right? And then he still had the best players he could find on his team, all right? And one of the best who we had ever seen up to that point in Anthony Davis, all right? In that modern game. He was one of the up-and-coming stars. We thought he was going to have a real future. But LeBron got a hold of him. And we already knows what happens when LeBron gets a hold of you, dog. All right? These guys diminish. They digress because they're forced to play in his system. All right? Where everything goes through him, and these guys can't get better. They can't develop. All right? Same with Jokic, dog. Are these guys really getting better playing with Jokic? Is he making his teammates better? I don't know. I don't think so. Because they rely on him to do so much. And yeah, they trust the guy. Because they see how good he is, how great of a player he is. You know, they trust him. And I understand why they trust him. I understand they look at his efficiency, the stats and all that, and they say, yeah. This is a guy we need to give the ball all the time. But is it really winning, dog? When it really counts, the postseason, this stuff ain't working, dog. It ain't working. And that is the Jokic problem. The Jokic dilemma, dog. All right? I don't want to fall into the same trap that we all did when LeBron came into the league, dog. We were looking at him. We were looking at stats. We were looking at the numbers. You know what I'm saying? And we're giving him excuses for why he was losing. All right? Until he lost in such an embarrassing way that he had to run to Miami. All right? And then still lost in an embarrassing way, even with that kind of help. Now, I'm telling you, Jokić is far better than LeBron. Jokić would not lose with that kind of help. We already know that. All right? But to say he needs more help, you see what I'm saying? Like Scap was saying, maybe earlier on in the year or the year before, he's talking about, Jokić needs more help. All these other players, they had at least an all-star teammate. Jokić hasn't had one, Well, how is Jokić helping these guys become all-stars? Is he even helping them become all-stars? Because everything's going through him, dog. All right? These guys, you can run this two-man game, but we already know most of the time Jokić is going to be the one getting the ball in his spot because he has better fundamental skills on how to get to his spots on the floor, dog. All right? And he does not need the ball to do it. You see what I'm saying? He's better moving without the ball, and catching it on a pick and pop or just a pick and roll, taking it to the basket, dog. And he has ways to finish once he gets into the paint. He has floaters, dog. He got, what I'm saying? He got all kinds of moves, all kinds of skills, all kinds of fundamentals. This is all great. These are all great things. He's a great player, great to watch. But if we're being real, dog, if for the real NBA fans who truly understand the game itself, all right, the way Jokić is playing ain't going to get him any more rings anytime soon, dog. These are the facts of the matter, dog. All right? Maybe he can surprise me. Maybe he can be one of the very few to play that way where he dominates so much from a statistical standpoint and then actually helps his team to win a high amount of games in the same process, and then actually takes them all the way to the finals and wins a championship in the same process. But nah, that's not happening, dog, because Jokić ain't a hustler like that, dog. Jokić really he's going to have to step it up. He's going to have to raise his level when it comes to the playoffs. He's going to have to go up even further, dog. You see what I'm saying? I don't think he has it in him, dog. He ain't a dog, all right? Jokić is not a dog, okay? Let's be real. Jokić ain't a dog like that, all right? He ain't hustling. He ain't fighting. He ain't really out there. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't doing nothing on defense, dog. He being lazy. He being sloppy out there, dog, defensively, all right? He's giving the least effort possible to make it look like he's playing defense, but he really don't care. He ain't really trying to block the shot, dog. We always see how he's playing. He ain't trying to block the shot. He'll put a hand up. He'll make it look like he's trying to block it, but he ain't trying to block that. You know what I'm saying? Jokić ain't the type to, give me that. He ain't swat it, into the freaking stands or something. He ain't like that. He ain't a dog like that. Get that out of here. He ain't that type. He ain't even the type of player to talk trash. He really just, we already know he don't really like the game like that. Like he cares more about horses, dog. This is the facts. All right. So as much as everyone's raving about Jokić, I'm one of the few voices of reason, dog, who's telling everybody, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Hold your horses, all right? Pun intended, because Jokić ain't that dude, and he hasn't proven it yet. Yeah, he's got 3 MVPs. He does. And that's all from stats, all right? But he has not proven he's that dude. He's that dog who's really going to lead a team to a championship against some stiff competition. He hasn't proven that, dog. He's only beaten 1 50-win team in 7 postseasons, dog. Let's open our eyes, dog. Because this is the same trap everyone fell for with LeBron, dog. Everyone said, oh, LeBron, oh, look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. Look at the efficiency. Even though it took him 7 years to shoot 50% from the field. Look at the efficiency. That's what I'm saying. Oh, look at the number. The points, the assists. Oh, look at the efficiency. Oh, he's shooting 50%. Oh, yeah. Give him an MVP. Give it to him. Look, his team. Look at his team. Oh, they're winning. Dog, we already know who he teamed up with, so he can win. You see what I'm saying? You got to team up in an inferior system. I've said this many times. In an inferior system, you need superior teammates to make that inferior system work, dog. And even then, with a guy like LeBron, it's still going to work 50% of the time at best. At best, 50% of the time, dog. Now, with Jokic, it's probably going to be a lot more of a success rate. But Jokic ain't getting that kind of help anytime soon. And, I just don't see it yet. If it's taking them this long to get him something, it's going to take even longer because we still got snakes out there like freaking LeBron taking any opportunity to snatch up a guy, Or we got KD taking any opportunity to run and team hop with a guy. You see what I'm saying? We still got snakes out there doing everything they can to collude, all right? And to get people on their team. So Jokic, it's going to be kind of hard for him to get that at this time, all right? But you would think with him getting all kinds of stats, that might attract some people to him. But I think the league already knows. That way, it doesn't win, dog. It doesn't win. But we'll see what happens, dog. We'll see what happens this season. But remember I told you, dog. Because I can already see the writing on the wall, dog. It's the same stuff that was going on with LeBron. A guy could put up numbers, but he couldn't win. All right? And we can look at history, dog. We can look at triple doubles. We can look at 50, 40, 90. We can look at efficiency. And we can look at all these guys, and they're still not winning, dog. That doesn't mean anything. Once we get to the postseason, once we start getting a higher level of competition, all that stuff ain't going to matter. What's going to matter is moments, dog. What's going to matter is making the right play at the right time. The plays where your team needs a bucket, the key moments, the key plays and key moments, the right plays at the right time. And you know what I'm saying? And then just the hustle and the effort to get some extra stuff to happen that maybe shouldn't have happened. You see what I'm saying? That extra IQ to be able to look ahead and catch it before it happens. All right? That's what we need to see from Jokic. And we ain't seen it yet, dog. That's the reality, dog. Nikola Jokic is not the GOAT. All right? And I can say that with confidence because we already saw what happened with LeBron. Now, even though Jokic is better than LeBron, all right, is still not going to win, dog. We got to be real. We got to look at the history. Can he make history? I don't think so. He's not a dog. Let's be real. All right? Jokic ain't there. We can rave about his stats and we can rave about how he plays. He's entertaining. But he ain't no champion like that, dog. All right? And he don't deserve no more MVPs until he can prove that he's really going to help his team win 60-plus games. All right? That's really what that comes down to. Okay? Well, that's enough for me, dog. I read it for a long time, dog, but I had to get this information out.
and get people to recognize what's actually happening here, dog. You know, Jokić, great player. You know, I like the guy. I actually like him, but we got to be real, dog. He ain't there. All right. And when it comes to beating top competition, he ain't there either. Okay. So I'm out of here, dog. But until then, LeBron James is not the GOAT. He not the GOAT, dog. He not the GOAT.